how do you maintain like a healthy life? Like you obviously said that you really care about longevity and health and wellness. What are your habits? What do you do every day?
The only way to combat that is actually respect someone's uniqueness or different personality and understand that and get to know them. So this is just learning, and I'm glad you've got that feeling, because that's empathy.
Yeah.
And that's not a bad thing. And don't be shy of that. You know, you can be embarrassed and you can actually have empathy as well. But just know why you've got it. And it's because you have appreciation of what you have.
Hello, everybody. We have a very special and different guest today on the podcast. We have Captain Jason Chambers. He is the captain of the ship on Below Deck, which is a massive hit on Bravo. Most of you guys probably watch it. I think I'm probably the only person who doesn't watch the show, right? Like I met just kind of like give you some like background. I met Jason yesterday in the green room at California Live. I was doing a segment on parenting and raising, resilient children. And Jason was in the green room. And I figured, why not get him on my podcast, even though in full transparency, I've never watched the show, but like I do know it is a very popular show. So anyway, thank you for being here.
You're welcome. You're welcome. Well, I have a little 10-year-old daughter. So your segment yesterday when we met was very poignant.
I love that. So So basically I was like doing the segment, and then Jason pulls out his phone and showed me all these amazing, cute pictures of his daughter who loves to climb trees. And basically I think we bonded on the fact that on the West, or in the West's, Western civilization, the US, people are just stuck on their phones and on social media, and basically being bored or playing outside has become null and void. And so when you said to me about your daughter, how she's the antithesis, like living and growing up in Bali, which we'll get into, is completely different. There's no such thing as that type of lifestyle.
Yeah. I met her mother in Spain. She's from Australia. She was a chef on boats. And I always had a dream of building a place to replicate a super yacht on land. We do hospitality, like a resort style thing where we could actually provide some health and wellness, but also give that special 5-star service.
Is that what you do on the boat? Because you can tell me about that.
That's what we do on boat. Well, that's what we do on boats. We have luxury yachts where hospitality, really, I'm just a concierge, really, for anyone's needs. I drive a big boat around and provide, wealthy people for anything they want from...
This case, so I want to get all into what you do also with the charity with your daughter, but let's start from the beginning.
Yes.
Okay, so you're a captain on this boat, and so how long were you a captain before you became a captain on this big show?
So this is our third season coming out,
right?
Which has been about 4 years it's been done. So I was a captain for about 20 years. Prior to that. So I've been captain for 20 years, and then the show's been going for 4.
So wasn't there, okay, now you're going to see how I'm going to sound like a complete idiot. I remember watching commercials, and there was a man who had like a beard, and he had a gray hair. He looked like he was like much older as the captain. Was that like a different show?
Yeah,
like
Bravo have gone off into a few other franchises. We have sailing, we have Mediterranean, we did have adventure, and we have Down Under. So Captain Lee was the original.
Okay.
And he's just hung the boots up a couple of years ago, actually. So we still have a few other captains. Captain Sandy for the Mediterranean, great female captain. It's really setting a good example for females out there and striving in this industry. And Captain Glenn, who's sailing, and Captain Kerry, which has taken over from Captain.
How many versions of the show is there?
So there's been 5. We're down to a couple now, but we did have Adventure, but that didn't last too long. But sailing's been a stable mark, which is a sailboat, 50 metres or 170 foot. And then Sandy, Captain Sandy, who's in the Mediterranean. And then we have one in the Caribbean and Down Under. So the guests get to see, it's kind of a bit of a fun travel, reality, real, unstructured program.
Okay, but... So it's kind of like the Real Housewives, basically, right? Like,
I wouldn't say that.
Well, no, only because it was a popular show,
yeah.
And so then they did, Housewives of Beverly Hills, Housewives of Orange County, Housewives of New Jersey, and on and on and on, right?
There's that there's that aspect that the audience get to see a different location as well, like the Caribbean to the Mediterranean to down under. So it's not just about the dynamics of the crew trying to actually do a real job in a pressure cooker environment and see what actually
So you're
unfolds.
actually a real captain on the
Yeah,
show. It's
yeah,
not just
that's
bullshit that you're just
yep.
you're not just playing a captain on TV.
No, they don't. They don't script it. They don't tell us how to run the boat. If they did, a captain wouldn't be a captain. As a captain, I wouldn't allow that, because there's so much there's a lot of safety aspects
Yeah.
behind it. So we have to hold that. We have to be firm about that as captains. We're driving big boats. We've got a lot of people. We've got a lot of camera crew in the background as well. So the safety always falls back onto us. Obviously, Bravo in the background have got their policies and procedures, which are pretty strong. But when it comes to the actual boat, starting the engine, getting it out there and providing the guests their quality time that they pay for.
They actually pay
They
for
pay.
it?
You have to pay to get on. So just to sum it up, to make it easy, a boat our size would be anywhere from 300 to 500,000 a week to rent,
Right, to rent,
charter. We actually, and you might do 8 charters in a season from say May till September, or from December to May, and 8 charters is a pretty busy charter season. And you might do a week, have a rest, week, have a rest, week. And in between that, the crew will let loose, relax, get set up for the next one and go again. We actually do 9 charters in 6 weeks.
Wow.
So we're doing 9 charters in 6 weeks. We're not doing 8 charters in 6 months. And not only that, I turn up to the boat. I don't know the boat, never driven the boat. The crew turn up. I very rarely know
The crew.
80% of the crew. I might know a few return crew. Then the food turns up and all the provisions turn up, and the next day the guests turn up, and it goes straight for 6 weeks. Not only that, after each charter, the crew go out, they relax, they celebrate their tips they've just got, they have a little bit too much sometimes, or they hook up with someone, or a bit of romance comes, or a bit of argument, or a little bit of argy-bargy, a bit of misogynism comes out, egos come out. It develops, and people say, well, that's not real. Well, you know what? It's actually about 2 years of yachting shrunk into 9 weeks. So it actually does happen, but we get to see it over a short period of time due to the environment that's filmed in.
Okay, well, I've got so many questions now. Okay, so you said so much stuff. Okay, so you're telling me, so doesn't Bravo just pick people to be on the boat?
They do the casting, actually pick the crew. The crew are experienced crew. They actually apply for it, obviously.
Right.
So I don't get to pick them.
So right, so then so these are all people who actually do this job legitimately.
They are experienced. They've got qualifications. Yes.
And so it's not always the same crew, but it's
No.
always like so. But you're the captain, which means you're always consistent on the show. But does your crew always change?
Usually you have some fan favourites or people that have performed well will return.
Okay.
But that would only be about maybe maximum 2. So there's 8 crew every year, new crew. So sorry, there's about 6 new every year.
Okay, so then the people, the people who are renting the boat, they're actually paying to be on the show with the people with the show.
Yeah,
Like they're paying?
rather than paying that 300 to 500,000 a week like a normal person, they're only paying 70 to 80,000 for 3 days,
Oh wow!
and then they have to tip on top of that as well.
So what kind of tips do you guys get?
We get big tips. We average around about 20,000 per charter. So I'd say average that. So
20,000
20,000
per charters. How long you said? Like
for 3 days.
For 3
so we do
days.
9 of them. So we walk out with say 200,000 tip after 9 weeks, and we split that between the 10 crew. Yeah.
Oh, you have to split everything.
Yeah.
Everything goes into a pot.
Yep.
Okay, and so the people that are I guess the guests of the boat, instead of paying 300,000 or whatever, they're paying 70 or 80, and they're picked by Bravo.
But look, a lot of guests want to be on the show and want to travel and enjoy the.
I'd want to be a guest.
Yeah. Look, you bring your A
put a good
game,
word in
complain
for me?
about the crew, make it hard for us, and that's all you have to do to be a guest.
So I was going to say, so the more difficult the guest is, I guess the better the show is for
We want crew, we want guests to actually be engaged, be authentic, but also be active, but also be honest as well. We want to be critiqued, and as a captain, I want to be critiqued as well. Like I'd like my chef to be under the microscope. I want my stewardesses and the service to be under the microscope. It's better for us. It's better for the show, but
Right.
it's better for us to actually to learn from and get better. So these ups and downs that go are real. And look, there's not a boat out there that charters that doesn't have a bad guest that actually is really hard, and that's fine. That makes us better.
How do they fit? Like, how do you guys all sleep on the boat? Like the whole crew and the guest. How many bedrooms are on these boats?
So every charter boat can have only a maximum of 12 guests.
Okay.
So it doesn't matter how big Jeff Bezos' boat is or whatever. They can only have 12 guests. Otherwise, you're moving into a passenger liner, which is a different realm.
So 12 guests.
So 12 guests, and then the crew, we have about 10 to 12, 13 crew.
And where do you like? Are you guys sleeping like in? Are you guys triple
We're
bunking or?
yeah. Sometimes double bunking. Not the captain; he's got his own. But the crew always double or triple bunk, and then that's below deck, and that's why it's called below deck. All the adventure goes on below down.
Right. So it's not really about the guests on the.
No,
on the boat.
I would say probably 10% of it's about the guests. 20% of it's about the location and the activities. A good
And
portion,
the drama between the.
and then I think a good 70% of it then is about the crew and how they actually perform and get on.
So which show is that performs the best? Is like the Down Under that you're on the most popular?
I'd have to say that. Below Deck Down Under.
Yeah,
No,
is that- well, yeah.
We're all going pretty strong. The ratings have been strong. It's been going for 10 or 11 years. It's been fantastic. We got
believe it.
Yeah, we got nominated for an Emmy nomination last year. Our one, season 2. So that was a good
Yours?
Yeah.
The Down Under one?
Yeah.
Oh my God, it's amazing.
Yeah, unstructured reality TV show. So that was we only got knocked off by Ryan Reynolds, so that's not too bad.
Oh, okay. Well, that's not bad. Have you ever done any celebrities? Have you taken any celebrities on these?
Some of the other franchises have done Housewives and stuff, but no real big celebrities.
No, besides the show, like in real life, have you done?
Back in the day, I did. I remember both the boats that I was on with. I think we had Jennifer Lopez on once down in the Caribbean.
You think you're not 100% sure? And was that like a 500,000?
Ann Archer. Ann Archer. She was an
Ann
actress.
Archer. I remember her from Fatal Attraction.
Yeah.
Yeah. Jennifer Lopez is
The Patriot Games or Patriot or something with Harrison Ford. Yeah, I had her on once. Yeah.
But you also did Fatal Attraction. She was the wife.
Yeah.
Right.
That's right. She was in a heyday too.
Right. That was like her big thing.
Yeah.
And those guys are paying 500,000 a week.
Yeah, definitely.
Okay. And then, but were they nice? Was Jennifer Lopez nice?
Look, I can't remember that. I think I was really green then. That was my first season. So
Your first season ever doing it?
Yeah, that was weird. And actually all that crew were the crew of Wolf of Wall Streets too.
Oh,
Yeah.
of what?
The movie, The Wolf of Wall Street,
yeah.
the boat that sank. My first captain was the captain from that boat.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
In real life?
Yeah, in real life.
So the guy who was the Wolf of Wall Street was here, and it was the most fascinating podcast.
It would
like
be.
he was telling me all
Jordan
sorts of stuff. I was like, I've seen the movie, of course, but like he was telling me like the movie didn't give. It was like not even like a sliver of what really happened in real life.
I could probably look. The crew that came off that boat, they were pretty tight-lipped. They didn't talk about anything. And
Really?
So he can rest assured that no bad words were said about him.
Oh my! Oh wow, that's because he was saying some bad words himself. So that's
he's probably gone through the other side now.
Oh my! Yeah, exactly. So how do you even become a captain on the show? Did you get the audition?
I was in Papua New Guinea doing working for an American family there, which I wish I could tell you because they actually did some great work while we were there with some villages and stuff and rebuilding hospitals. Anyway,
You were doing that?
yeah, we had a great opportunity.
That has nothing to do with being a captain of a boat.
Yeah, I was on a boat. They wouldn't turn up. They didn't turn up because of some political issues here. They just didn't want to be seen on their boat. They're a very big family here in America. Anyway, so I was working on that boat.
What boat? Can you tell me?
I can't. I'm not going to say. So they don't want to. They're very low key, and we dropped it. I remember dropping an anchor once, and I had to go ashore with the helicopter pilot to find the chief to talk about whether I could anchor in his bay. and we had we had a bucket of nails, some flour, some tarpaulins, and some tools to give as a present. And we found this old deserted hospital, and it still gets used with like 60 people they average a month with paddle and pass on canoes.
Oh, wow.
Babies being born, no lights, no running water, absolutely horrendous conditions. So we went back and we got all the engineers off the boat. We went up there. We looked at everything. We came back again. We fitted out running water. We fixed their pipes. We put new plumbing in. We put new pumps in. We put LED lights in and everything.
Oh, wow.
And then when the owners did come, we took them for. They wanted to come and see it, and they said, "How much did this cost?" And I said, "Well, it cost me nothing. It cost you 10,000-15,000." He said, "Triple it and keep doing it." And his guest was a big medical supplier. So he actually sent over a pallet of medical supplies to him as well. And he said, just keep doing that. Whatever you do, so we just cruised around, and through the agent that we used there, we just found things to do. And a lot of boats do contribute when they go through these areas. But wow. What a moment in life. I remember once on the back of the boat, we had kids just sitting in dugout canoes, and we set up a big sheet and a projector when we watched Moana at night. They've never seen TV before.
They've never seen TV.
No.
Wow.
And anyway, I was back in Australia. COVID was happening. I couldn't get back to the Philippines where my daughter was.
Right.
And it was at the end of COVID, just at the end, and I was about to try and get out of Australia and leave this job because it was coming to America, and I wanted to stay in Asia. And I got an email to join Below Deck Down Under, which was doing a franchise in Australia. So yeah, why not?
But how did they even so how did they know to find you?
I actually got an email through another captain friend. So through their casting, they put it out there, and my friend emailed me with them in it and said, listen, this is the guy that should be on the show. He's down there, he knows the area, and he should be on it. So we hooked up, and we made contact, and I really fell in love with the production team and talking to them. I thought, these guys are pretty cool. You know, they're really good. So I thought, why not do it? My crew convinced me to do it. I didn't think anything of it. I thought I'd just do a season and then go and see my daughter, who I hadn't seen for a year. And here we are 4 years later. So
wow.
Yeah, it's been fun.
Have you ever done TV before?
No, never. No. I'm a fish out of water. So if you ever see any of the promos of me coming out of the water with my shirt off and everything, that is not me. Okay?
I was going to say that, I saw it yesterday in the green room because they were promoting me coming up next or whatever. And so they promoted both of us, I guess. And you were wearing this like wet T-shirt or something coming out of the boat, and they were like, "Oh, the sexiest man on Bravo," which is a whole other thing. So, how did you get this whole sexiest man on?
No comment. I got no idea. Well, I don't want to be derogative, but I haven't got much. I haven't got much. Well. No,
you have no, Jason. You're on this podcast. You kept it. You.
I think it's an untitled one. It's untitled.
Who called you this? Is it just some name that you like the Bravo executives decided to call you?
I don't know where it's come from, and it's
or is it all the women who are constantly asking about you, or like?
Yeah, possibly.
Are you serious? I'm asking. So,
I'm 52. I'm 52. I don't see it that way.
You know what it is? That's probably why they like you and why they think you're sexy is because you have like a humility to you. That's what's actually sexy about you.
Pretty embarrassing.
Well, you being like this right now is actually sexy. Now, I'm not hitting on you. I'm just saying, I'm not hitting on him. I'm just saying because if you were this arrogant guy who was like coming out here and trying to be all like, thinking that you're like this hot thing, that's unattractive. That's a turnoff. But if you're like, shucks, come on, like all this humility, try and do all these nice things and like with these kids, I mean, that's why the ladies like you. I could totally understand, right? Bravo executive over here, right?
Well, the thing is that, like we spoke about, the job is real. And then at the end of it, they get us to do all these promos. And to be quite honest, it's taken a bit, but they're so much fun doing these promos,
Yeah.
Each year I'm like, really? Does it have to be shirt off again?
Yeah.
Like,
Are you doing all the shirt?
Yeah.
So like, what is all? I haven't seen them, but like, are you doing like billboards with your shirt off?
Oh, I'm sure they would if they could, but
I'm
look,
sure.
they're good. I'm sure they know the market. They hit the market, and it's fun. Look, we just have fun doing it. It's after 6 weeks of really hard work, a lot of fatigue, and it's kind of just this last 3 days of doing all these
Well,
commercials.
yeah.
And it's just like, oh, let's just have some fun, and we go with it and have a great time doing it.
But wait. You're like you're brushing
Yes,
off
I am.
this whole like sexiest man on reality TV thing. So like, do you get DMs from women like all day, all night?
Well, I'm filtered a lot. It's filtered.
You do. So, but you do
I'm
basically.
sure I do. Yeah.
And so I'm going to ask the Bravo lady. So how did you decide that Jason was going to be the sexiest man on Bravo? Is it because you guys just noticed the like influx of women who are constantly asking about him versus anybody else on the show? Well, is that really how? Yeah. But like, who else do you guys even have on Bravo?
There's
Like,
heaps. I'm down the list. I'm down the
no,
list.
who else? What other guys are on Bravo that are like a big name?
A lot, yeah.
Most of them are like just like, women who are
He's a captain.
like the whole package, right? Like, and so then you just kind of create this whole like thing around it. You're leaning in. Okay, I like that. And he's embarrassed, which makes it even better, and all the other things.
So anyway, my daughter.
Yeah, exactly. Anyway, how many people watch Below Deck? Like, what's the numbers that?
I think each franchise is averaging just under a mil.
Yeah, it varies.
Varies, but I think all franchises are doing quite well, really well. And as I said, it's been going for quite some time, and it's it's coming from someone from inside the industry. We used to look at it as like, oh, really? But we're actually starting to enjoying it as well. People that actually are in the industry, they're starting to watch it as well. It started off with like, we don't really want, the industry was like frowning upon it, like why have them understand this? But now it's there's a lot of good points that are coming out of it, which I think we need to work on, like Captain Sandy, a female captain who's actually really done a lot for a lot of charities that she works for, and she's probably allowed a lot of females to come up into the industry. They get a lot of female deck stewardesses on board.
Right.
So it actually just gives a lot of women understanding that they can actually be working outside as well. It's not just a stewardessing job, waitress job. You can actually be part of the system where you can get certifications for it. So there's a hell of a lot of good points in it. So.
Why 30 people? Is 30 people for that type of size boat a normal size?
You got the crew. You got the crew.
Okay, so the crew is who? The captain?
Yeah, captain, first mate, engineer, and then you'll have 3 stewardesses and 3 deckhands, So you've got 6, you got 10 or 11, 12, 13 crew, depending on the size. Then you'll have 12 guests. Then you'll have 4 producers on at one time, and then you'll have probably 5 sound and 5 camera people.
Okay, no, not the camera, not the TV people, just in general on the boat.
In general, let's just say there's 12 plus 10, so 22. Would be usual.
And because you're also enclosed in such a small environment, there must be a lot of like drama and relationships and like that actually form. You said earlier that the mom of your daughter was the chef?
No, she was a chef, not my chef on the boat. But she was a chef.
But was she a chef for another boat?
Yeah.
But you guys never met on a boat together?
No.
That was just a coincidence.
Yeah, we just met through friends. Yeah.
Oh, but because you're friends with a lot of the same people who are crew.
Yeah, but I know where you're going to, and it definitely it's a close environment. So it's a very you got different nationalities.
Yeah,
you got different personalities.
Yeah.
And these are things that look, when you go to work at a 9 to 5 job, you might not like Tom, who you're sitting next to, or Sarah, but you get to go home and you actually just get to clock off and bitch to your partner, going, "Oh, Tom's, I can't stand Tom. Yeah, but I'll go back to work tomorrow." Right. Whereas in our industry, we have to be with them 24/7. So the only way to combat that is actually respect someone's uniqueness or different personality and understand that. And get to know them. We all know people from different countries, behave differently. They have different aspects or different views on life or things. Some can be very pig-headed or misogynist or rude in their tone, but they're probably not. Some people are really, really beautiful people, but just they come across very, very harsh.
Right.
So give that a moment. Understand where they come from, learn their nationality, learn their personality, learn their behaviours, and not everyone has to be how you think they should be. And that's a big lesson that crew have to learn, especially when you're living with them 24/7.
Right. That's crazy. I mean, that's a small quarters to be with.
Yep.
Have you ever had any relationships with people in your crew ever?
Me personally,
Yeah.
I've been doing it for 25 years, of course.
Of course. Yeah.
Yes, you know, I've
On Bravo? Have you?
no,
Okay.
not on Bravo. No, I've had really strong relationships before too. You know, some that I've actually, you know, thought that might have been the one.
Right.
You know, I don't live up in a suburb with a cul-de-sac, you know, with a white picket fence
Right,
and have
right, not at
barbecues
all.
every Saturday. You know, my friends are my crew that I've worked with over 2.5 decades.
Wow,
Like, you
yeah.
know, like my best friends are, you know, my best friends are crew that I've actually worked with and had a great relationship, and then still keep in touch now, and male or female. So
What is like, what's your day to day look like? Like, give me break it down. Like, walk me through what a day in the life of a captain would be.
well, obviously everything's based around the itinerary that
Okay.
you've already set before.
Right.
So you're obviously looking at the weather, you've got the provisions, you've got the supply, you've got the maintenance of the vessel, you've got the crew, how are they going. Then you've also got the admin, you've got the accounting, you've got the reporting to the management, you've got reporting to the owner. And then you're fulfilling the itinerary and the cruising and the going through the grounds and the activities through the day. And then that's all starting again. And then you're also foreseeing what's happening in about 4 months' time when you finish that season, going into a shipyard repair maintenance time where you've probably got about 6 weeks to turn the boat over, spend $1 million or two,
Yeah.
and then get back out. And then all that is with crew vacations, you know, crew leave, terminations, contractual stuff for that, employment, HR, uniform sizes and then you've got the crew drama, which has happened. So that
Wow.
would be a day in the life of.
What time do you guys wake up? Like for our Bravo, like when you're filming for Bravo.
When I'm filming, that's real life. Filming, we're the same. It's the only thing different about all that is I'm not foreseeing. I'm not, you know, it's all set. That's what we're doing. So
Right.
I walk up to the boat and just focus on that. Every day, a captain, you know, he might go to sleep, you know, after guests have gone down or dinner, and he'd be up early getting into it. And we have set hours of rest that the crew have to have. Otherwise, if they go outside that, it's past their legal requirements. They have to have a certain amount of rest in certain blocks for safety. But that does get broken every now and again because we want to try and get things done.
Right.
You know.
How do you guys have like, because you know you're out in the, you know, you're out in the outdoors, but how do you maintain like a healthy life? Like you obviously said that you really care about, before even off camera, like longevity and health and wellness, and we're going to get into your whole story. Is it hard to take care of your health when you're like confined to like a boat underneath and you have to do a certain structured schedule? Like there's not much time to kind of like even have like, if you have like downtime, are you stuck going to your room, or like are you allowed to like wander around the boat? Like what happens?
Crew usually get a designated area
Yeah.
where they can actually do some stuff, and a good owner or a good management system would understand that, respect that, and really good owners want their crew to have a healthy lifestyle. And I always promote that the crew can always jump in the water with the guests as well. They can get on the paddle boards with the guests, you know, because it's actually
They can.
Well, to me, it looks like they're actually getting some refreshing activity. 2, they're actually acting as a safety with the guest.
That's true. Yeah.
They're another set of eyes. So it's actually acts as 2 purposes. But I think society's changed a lot too. I think if you go 20 years ago, the crew would work, go to the bar, get drunk, have a great time.
Right.
That's
It's different now.
I think we're a lot more conscious now. I see crew getting up early for the sunrise, meditating,
Yeah.
journaling, doing yoga, being there fit. You can see it in society that young men are trying to be a lot fitter than they were 20 years ago.
Totally. It's become super trendy
yeah.
now to be
yoga,
healthy. Yeah.
meditating. Look, breathworks is a big thing. I think crew are taking the more healthy approach to understanding that you can't keep working these environments without a healthy body. Mm-hmm. And obviously, healthy body, then healthy mind, really.
Like, what are your habits? What do you do every day?
Wake up every morning, stretch for about half an hour.
What time do you wake up typically?
5ish, 6. Yeah, 5:30,
early.
6. Yeah.
That's very. And then you stretch for half.
If I'm with my daughter, I'm up at 4 because I go to bed at 8.
Well,
So
yeah.
So I stretch. I go for a walk. if I'm not on land, if I'm on land, I go for a walk. I'll do my breath works. I just do I usually do that when I'm in bed. I'll put on Wim Hof and do that 11-minute three
He was
round.
on here too.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I like Wim Hof. He's very nice.
And then I'll do some fire breathing.
Yeah.
And then I'll just do some more stretching. I just do band exercises. I used to play professional rugby league when I was young, so I've got few injuries.
Oh,
So I find that just doing, if I start getting into the gym, it's just too much.
really?
Yeah, the gym's too much. Lifting weights is too much for me. I find getting into band exercises being more
Yeah.
helpful and good for the core.
It is. Yeah.
Yeah.
So wait, because you said earlier too, like your daughter lives in Bali. You live in Bali. But like you said, you didn't see her for a year.
Yeah, year and a half. Yeah.
Is it because your schedule with the?
I was COVID. I was stuck in Australia on a boat. I couldn't leave. So
But normally that's not the case.
normally, if a yacht captain, very rarely there is rotational jobs, 2 months on, 2 months off, but they're very hard to find. Sometimes a captain could be away at sea for 10 months.
So how do you have like a regular?
That's
How do you
right.
have a life with like anybody?
Very difficult. Very difficult. That's why my friends are friends on my crew.
100%.
Yeah, so we don't have a normal life. And you take 2 months off or a month off, even as the captain, you're still on the laptop, you're still on the phone. And there's so many jobs waiting for captains as well. If you don't say yes to the conditions, someone else will take it. So every time you're on holiday, you're threatened whether you're going to keep your job or not. Like it's like,
Right.
there's a mindset with yacht owners that, they're just always there.
Right.
They're always part of the boat. Whereas you can't have any time off. There's a lot of marital breakups in this industry.
Oh, so how does anyone have a relationship
Very
or have
difficult.
kids?
Very heavy. I find the same relationship breakups in the mining, in the offshore stuff where you do a lot of 1 month on, 1 month off.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Because there's a lot of time away. Like there's no
Yeah.
consistency in time in terms of spending time.
well, what I see is it's the same pattern. Is the mother, or let's just say the mother is at home with the children and the father's working away for a month or two, and then he comes home, he walks into the household, he thinks he's back.
Right.
Oh, wait up! This has been my nest for 2 months without you.
Exactly.
And, don't just come in here. So you always see like a week of slowly walking into the relationship
Right.
with arguments when you come back. And then they finally get settled, and then then the wife or the mother feels like about 2 weeks before they're departing, like starts to get that anxiety, and he starts to get that anxiety. So, the whole 2 months off is actually a good portion of that is broken up with, unrest. And
100%.
and
Well,
I-
there's no rhythm.
no, there's no rhythm.
There's no rhythm. Like it's constantly like upheaval and and then, growing apart, and then you come back and it's like they already went on with their lives a little bit. And
Yeah.
then you're kind of, so how do you, even with a kid, like what I think is amazing, and I noticed this yesterday when we met, is like any moment you can mention your daughter, you do, like you love your
That's
child
cool.
so much, which is like beautiful. I love that. It must be really hard to be away from her like that much.
So when this season, I put everything into building that place in the Philippines.
Yeah.
A nice little 5-star resort. Her mother really did a great job building it. Even though we weren't together, we said, okay, you build it, we'll be 50-50. It just gave me, it's what I've always wanted was my daughter to grow up with a unique environment. So she grew up as this white, blonde girl that speaks fluent Tagalog, Filipino. She actually thinks she's Filipino. She's got that empathy.
Really?
She's got, she just wants to give to other people, make sure everyone's looked after, which is just that
A
true
caretaker
it's
vitality.
That
Yeah,
real
yeah.
true Filipino care. She grew up in a very remote location, and we've given her that, and now they've moved to Bali now for a better education. And look, I'm proud that we've given that point. But when Below Deck happened and COVID happened, post-COVID, I was like, I don't care what happens. The next 2 years, I'm not going to work. I don't care if I spend all my money. I'm going to stay with my daughter. And I've done that probably 80% of the time. So
Wow.
if this goes nowhere, it goes nowhere. I'll just go back onto a boat. Okay.
Right,
But now
right.
I'm actually trying to pick things up, see how much I can actually really make the most out of this year. My 2 years is up.
Yeah.
So now I'm actually trying to get back.
Your 2 years is up?
2 years that I set out for her.
Oh, yeah.
Well, when it's up, when I didn't see her from 6 to 8, Now she's 8 to 10.
Yeah.
And I gave her a kiss goodnight for bed because she sleeps with me. We just got a 1-bedroom villa in Bali. She sleeps with her mother who's got a 1-bedroom. I gave her a kiss goodnight. She said, "Oh, Papa, I need to talk to you about something." I said, "What?" She said, "Boundaries." I went, "What boundaries?" She goes, "I don't think you can give me a kiss goodnight." I'm like, "What?" No, not on the lips. I went, "Okay, but can I hug you?" She goes, "You can hug me goodnight, but no more kissing goodnight." I went, "Really?"
Oh my God, it's so
So
sad for
I
you.
rolled
Yeah,
over.
yeah,
I rolled over, and about 2 minutes later, she reached over and hugged me and gave me a kiss.
yeah.
So I'm actually understanding that it's that time that I know she's
Yeah.
only 10, but I know that she's becoming
More of a girl. I know.
yeah.
I know what you're talking about.
She won't
because
let
I
me see
see
her
it.
with her top off anymore. She's got to have a top underneath her top, like
Right, she's not a baby.
she's moving. Well, she is.
I don't trust me. I'm going through the same thing. My little one turns 10 in 5 weeks. And I know it's like a progress, like they were just like a baby, or they still are your baby, right?
Yep.
But like there's different rules and boundaries. I'm getting the same
Yeah,
conversation.
look,
So
I know that's the hint of like, okay, well, I can spread my wings a bit.
Yeah.
Like it's fine. I've given her a good 2 years. I'll give her all my life, that's for sure.
Right,
My
right,
whole life's
right.
about her, but I know that I can. She's like, fine. We got FaceTime. I'm like,
Is that what she
yeah.
says?
Whereas, she rings me every day, but she's like, it's fine. As long as we can talk on FaceTime, it's fine. But then she's like, come home, and I need to see her. So I flew home. I had Christmas with my parents. My parents were not too well this year. So I had Christmas with them, and I flew home straight away to see her for a week, as soon as I had a good hunk of time with my parents.
So where do you actually live?
Bali's. I got a home in Bali, but Philippines we have the resort. So I'm actually been a little bit nomadic my entire life, but this year I'm trying to find some stability and actually look towards the place to put some anchors down.
Roots. Are you gonna? Do you think you'd ever live in the U.S.?
Oh, she's in love with the LA. She's with the LA. She's in love with LA. I brought her here last year, and she's like, "Oh, yeah,
Really?
why don't you live here, Papa, and I'll just come here and visit?" I'm like, maybe.
So you might move here.
Oh, look, I don't want to even put any anxiety or thought into it to have any anxiety. I've got to get some stuff done this year. I've got a good first half. I've got a very busy first half of the year. And then once that's done, then I'll actually, I'll put more thought into it then.
Wait, so how long did you say when you like shoot for the show? How long did you say it is?
It's 6 weeks.
6 weeks,
But
yeah.
then we do about 6 months of editing.
Right.
They're not editing the show, but just things we didn't pick up,
Yeah.
or voiceovers that we didn't do. So I'll fly back to here once a month for about 6 months, probably 6 times, just to tidy up things that maybe after each charter we get into a green room and talk about that charter. Maybe my enthusiasm wasn't there, I was tired or something, or maybe I just need to be a bit more upbeat about this, or can you be a little bit more firmer about that termination you did?
Right.
Rather
Do
than
they? And so they do give you guidance in terms of how you should.
no, this is much later.
So even so after the season's done,
Yeah.
they kind of give you feedback on what you can do next time.
No, we'll fly when they're editing and they're putting it together. Our voiceovers or our interpretation
voiceover.
of
Okay, yeah.
their interpretation of that moment may not have been that conducive to what happened. So they might just ask us to can you say that again, but with a bit more enthusiasm, and then that's the clip. It's called pickups. It's editing, part of the editing. So
No, I know. I used to have it for I had this. I didn't love it. I had a weight loss show, and they had a bug in my ear, like like one of those things.
Yep.
And they'd be like, "Go up to so and tell them this or that." It felt very contrived. They don't do that on your show?
No, not at all.
Oh God, you're lucky.
yeah, no, I'm the captain of the boat. There's no way I'd run a boat.
Good. Okay. I know you kind of said that, but I didn't want, like sometimes it is Bravo. I mean, it's not like it's like they're known for their very dramatic reality shows. So
Yeah, well,
it just
this is-
happens anyway.
This is good. This adds another. This is the thumb of the hand of theirs, I suppose. Whereas all the other stuff is very dramatic and reality, and it's got their audience. We give the Bravo audience another aspect of reality, but doing a real job.
Right.
And it's good that it's just another genre, really, within a genre.
Yeah. How many years are you contractually like doing this gig?
season after season. So, we just hope that the ratings are popping up and we get another one.
Right. So you don't know. Like next year, you may not be on.
Yeah.
So if this season does lousy, you're screwed, basically.
Yeah.
And would you do you like doing TV? Like, would you want to do more of that stuff?
I honestly have met so many friends through the production and the people at the back.
Yeah.
They're very similar to ourselves. They're
Yeah.
working away from home.
Yeah.
They're putting so many hours in. They're trying to create something for someone else. Probably don't know when the next job's coming. Very much like I spoke
Yeah.
about. They're all passionate about what they do, and they're working hard and trying to. Honestly, to be quite honest, you could actually have cameras filming them, and that could be a show as well.
Oh my God, it'd probably be the best show.
Yeah.
It'd probably be the best drama
Yeah.
show ever. I agree. How did you even become a captain though? Like what did you love the water or did you love boats as a kid? Like what was your evolution to being like, you know what, I want to become a captain of big boats?
Well, in a short, I'll keep it short. I did a mechanics apprenticeship. I became a mechanic. And I got drafted to play professional rugby league. I was a good rugby league player back in the day.
Oh wow.
I then did an apprenticeship as a plumber. Then I chose not to play football, but just rugby league. I just chose to get married. Actually, that's the first. No one knows that. I got married when I was very young.
How old were you?
I was 20. And yeah,
20.
so I married my high school girlfriend, and then at 25, who we're still in touch with now, I was like, well, what are we doing? Like,
Yeah.
So I actually gave up professional football to be with her. But then I traveled. I went a year around South America, then backpacked by myself, and then hitchhiked around Middle East from Istanbul down to Cairo.
You hitchhiked?
Yeah, and around South America as well. And then a friend of mine who I met in England got a job on a boat in Newport, Rhode Island. So I went back to Australia. I came to visit him, and I just walked onto a boat.
To do what? Just
to help. And the crew came back, and the engineer said, "This guy knows what he's doing, and let's take him to Miami to the shipyard." So they took me down there, and I started work. And they said, let's just do a season with him. So I did that. Long story short, went back to Australia for a year of football, then came back and got a job as an engineer on a boat. Went up to Newport, New York, saw the World Trade Centers come down, went back. The boat didn't sell. It was owned by
the boat didn't sail?
The boat didn't sell. It was up for sale.
Oh, sell.
And
the accent, I'm trying to, that's
yeah,
why I
I'm
keep
sorry.
on missing. No, I like it. It's just like I'm listening very
So
intently.
we came back down to New York, and after the season, the boat was for sale, and it didn't sell.
Okay.
No one was buying it, and it was a 110-foot boat, and the owners said, well, we'll take it to the Mediterranean. And I was the only one looking after it by myself because it was for sale. And they said, we want you to drive it. And I said, I don't know how to drive. And they said, learn. So that was it. I was 28 years old, off to the Mediterranean, never been to the Mediterranean, never driven a boat before. And I just we took off and winged it.
You just winged it.
I winged it.
And then ever since then, you're a captain.
Ever since then, I've been winging it.
Seriously? What is the protocol? How does anyone become a captain? Is there a school
I had
for
to do a
captains?
certificate. I had sea time enough to actually do the certificate. So I had to pass the certificate to do that, but it just fell short under a grade, which was great for me, easy to be able to get the certificate. So then I took off. I surrounded myself with good people, and actually for about 5-10 years, I really just learnt on the run. And then eventually I ended up driving one of the biggest boats. And
What was the boat?
it was, 300 foot, and helicopters, everything. And we had 28 crew. It was a huge boat, so I actually got to the point, and I thought, no, I'm too detached from the crew. I don't really I could stay up in the wheelhouse and never see a crew member for a week if I wanted to. I had a lounge up there, I had a kitchen, I had a galley, everything. So I thought, no, it's not me. I want more adventure, even though I could have retired on that job. So I
How
sold
much
it.
does it pay in a boat like that?
Anywhere between 15 to 20,000 a month. So
To be a captain of a 300-foot boat.
yeah, well, it goes up to 30,000.
Really?
Anywhere from 15 to 30,000 a month.
And then you get your tips and all that stuff? Or
If you're a charter boat,
Yeah.
yeah. So, but I could have retired on that job, but it wasn't me. And I came back and bought land in Philippines and felt more. I actually learnt more driving around these remote areas and got more out of it. And that's kind of where I am now. That's why I'm working with these charities that I work with.
I know. Tell me about that charity. I love that like the,
Yep.
what was it called?
Classroom of Hope.
Yeah. What is that?
I've been looking for a plastic waste solution in the Philippines, building our place. We get a lot of rubbish washing up, and I've been thinking we used to grind our plastic up and put it into our foundations just to get rid of it.
Right.
So yeah, I've been looking at blocks and everything, and I came across this foundation in Indonesia that use all fully recycled. You make these blocks out of all recycled plastic waste. 24,000 tons of plastic waste a day wash up onto Indonesian rivers.
Wow.
And they have a big factory. They turn them into these Lego blocks, and they build schools out of it. In 2018, 400 schools got knocked down by earthquakes. This foundation that was there went in there to help because they were an education foundation. After that, they said, well, if we keep rebuilding these schools, they're just going to knock down again because there's earthquakes all the time. So then they found this solution. So they've rebuilt 100 schools out of this solution. I loved it. I went and visited them. They don't even it's not just about the schools, it's about the education. They're working with each community and the chiefs to understand how they can help. Like the females there, if in their religion, if you run off with a boy, you have to get married. If you have a night with the boy, you have to get married. But
wow.
the father of the boy is not going to let you marry unless she can get pregnant. So you need to get pregnant before you can get married. And then you can get divorced too. So they're trying to teach these communities that there's a better way with education. You don't have to fall back on that. We can actually have a better solution. So they've actually got so many aspects of this foundation that are helping the community. But on top of that, they're building these schools, rebuilding these schools out of a plastic waste recycle material. And I'm a PADI dive ambassador for PADI, the diving certificate. So
for what?
PADI is the dive certificate.
Okay.
That you get your diving courses through.
Okay.
So I'm the PADI dive ambassador. So ocean conservation is a big thing for me.
Oh.
I just got my daughter certified. So we went on. I said, how can I help to this foundation? They said, would love to have you on board. So they gave me a school for 171 children, no bathrooms. The girls, every time they have their monthly, have to go home for a week because it's just there's no dignity there.
Really?
There's no bathroom. So that was the school I got given last year, and I put it up. I threw it out there. Sheena of Vanderpump Rules threw $5,000 and got it started, and in 4 months we raised $100,000, and I built the school, and I took my daughter to open it and cut the ribbon. And last month we went to Melbourne, Australia for a gala. We had to raise 60,000 more. I spoke at the gala. We raised 140,000. It's a great foundation, and it's fantastic. And my daughter's part of being there with it too, which is a good thing for her.
Wow, I love that.
Last month, I took her up into the mountains of Bali. There's another foundation, Bali for Rice, with all the construction that's going on in Indonesia, in Bali.
Bali for what?
Bali for rice.
Rice?
Rice, as in...
As eating rice?
Yeah.
Okay.
And all the rice fields are getting taken for construction with all these foreigners building. So there's a lot of elderly and disabled people and special needs people that are actually not getting fed. So these foundations supply rice every week to these families, and it's a great organisation. And there's plenty of them. There's plenty of foreigners in Bali that are given back. But look,
that.
Philippines is my heart, and I'd love to take some stuff to Philippines in the future. But at the moment, I'm in Bali, and it's something that I feel passionate about. And I don't know what to do on my social media. I'm not very good at it. So
Do you do your own social media?
I do my own social media.
Okay.
Everyone's like, you got to get more in front of the camera. And I'm like, yeah, okay, but I don't know what. But this is easy. It's something I'm passionate about. It aligns to the ocean conservation. I've got a child. Education's a big thing.
Yeah.
I think my daughter's very lucky that she's growing up in a unique environment, and she didn't want to hold the camera for me the other day when we were giving out the rice. And I said to her...
She did not want to?
No. And I said to her later, I said, why didn't you want to do that, Saskia? And she said, I was embarrassed. And I said, I know why you're embarrassed. And she said, tell me. And I said, because you've got more than them. And she said, you're right. I was like that in the Philippines, to bring the people to our house because we had a bigger house. And I was like, Sass, this is just learning, and I'm glad you've got that feeling because that's empathy.
Yeah.
And that's not a bad thing. And don't be shy of that. You can be embarrassed, and you can actually have empathy as well. But just know why you've got it. And it's because you have appreciation of what you have. And, you know, and these
What
are
a
the,
beautiful lesson that you just taught your child.
that's all we have to do, you know, a little bit. We don't have to ask for much. And
Yeah.
I think it's
So she has gratitude, like just from like having that environment. What's amazing to me is just the difference in terms of just where you raised your child, how they grow up, like in terms of their like mentality, their needs, their desires, like because she never stepped foot here in America, right? She doesn't know from all this. She doesn't know from the fact that every kid here is stuck on their phone and they won't play outside or they don't do play dates or they are on social media. Like they're not doing that back there.
no, okay. She loves her iPad now when she can get it. She doesn't get it. She doesn't get it with her mum, but she gets it with me.
How much you give her the iPad?
Look, she gets, I would say, a couple of hours a week.
Oh, okay. A
Yeah.
couple, but you regulate it and you monitor
Yeah,
it.
I'm pretty bad with it. My mum's good with it.
Your mom, her
Mum's
mom.
good with it. But you know,
But 2 hours a week
but she does
is
crochet. She does crochet now. Like, and she does crocheting and stuff. She does,
really.
yeah. She does. She make things. She's got her invisible friends. She's got her other her other dolls and stuff that she makes things for. And she has a little word to her. The other day she said, "You can't sit there." I said, "Why?" She goes, "Blah." I can't remember.
So and so
Big
sitting
dog or
there.
something.
Yeah.
And I'm like,
Yeah.
"Oh, that's cute. I'm not going to take that away from her. Like, that's great. That's
No, they should. That's an imagination.
and keep that imagination, you know, like allow it. And, you know, if
100%.
we had it, we'd be fine. You know, entrepreneurs have it. You know,
We do have it. I mean, entrepreneurs do have it. You have to have. Well, that's because. Well, I mean, this is how the whole thing. Like, I believe that we need to be bored sometimes. And when we were kids, I was always bored. But that's where I believe, boredom kind of breeds brilliance in a way, right? Because that's where creativity lives. That's where you think of different things. Like, if you're not bored and you're constantly distracted all the time, you're never going to get those light bulb, like those moments of genius,
yeah, but you
right?
can actually visualize and imagine where the end is,
Well, 100%.
and not actually look at the obstacles in between.
Exactly. So then if you're doing this stuff, like, with the show, 6 weeks on, whatever, and then you do your pickups, how do you spend the rest of your time?
It's a good question. It's been a very, very low period
Yeah.
where I've actually moved in, probably into a bit of a cave as well. You know,
Right.
because I know when I'm out, I'm out.
Right.
When I've got these things, so health is a big thing. I've just had a huge end of the year with my father with Alzheimer's, and
How old is your father?
they're turning 80 next year. So mum had a heart attack, dad had Alzheimer's. I flew back to help. My best mate passed away in a horrific accident. I had the melanoma. I had a diagnosis of melanoma. I had a lot going on, and I think that's nothing but going to propel me into where I really wanted to go anyway. I've always tipped around my yoga, my health, everything like that, but I want to move right into I'm not going to say peak. I want to see how far my body can be. You know, I want to know more about mind, cognitive behavior, preventative, reversing Alzheimer's a little bit. Know about the foods that what we can take. You know, because I want to know more about it because of my dad.
Of course.
And
Did they actually diagnose him with Alzheimer's?
yeah.
How did they know? Did they do an MRI and scan his
Yeah,
brain?
they did the whole lot. We always had. For the last 6 to 7 months, we could see changes. And then when mum had a heart attack, a triple bypass, and he was by himself, it just came on like a ton of bricks. And it's really there now, and it's prevalent. And he's on medication to take that back. But I've been listening to a lot of podcasts, so I'm actually just trying to teach myself now. But I want to see what I can do too. And I know that I've got a good journey ahead because of everything that that happened at the end of last year. So I'm thinking, wait up. So I'm doing manifesting and mindful coaching. I want to do some journaling of where I can go and follow the journey. See where I am now. Start selling some stuff online that. To try and make a passive income. Yeah, with Alzheimer's coming on with Dad, I feel like I've got the opportunity to learn more about that. And I am doing mindful and and manifesting coaching as well, which is good. I'm starting to do the therapy that my mate suggested before he passed away.
So you're doing, do you have a coach or you're a coach?
Yeah, I've got a coach now. I've done 2 sessions with her. I get a lot out of it too. She asked me the other day what are the things I want to get out of it, and I said I want discipline, I want continuity, and accountability and execution. And she said, explain that. I said, well, I've always been that person to go with the flow. So I want I want to be more disciplined to actually set my targets and actually do it. Like, yeah, go and see that person or go and do that. Like, don't just brush it off and go with, if it happens, it happens. Continuity is actually continuing and doing that. And accountability to me is not just of the things that are going wrong, but be accountable and appreciative of things that you are doing right. So when people, probably not the sexy stuff that's going on, but like when people say, oh, you did a good job or you did that, I'm going to say thank you. I appreciate that. Yeah, I'm going to take that on, but write that down as well, and be grateful every day, and say that to myself every day as well. And then execution is to get all of those things going. And
So it's funny because the podcast is called Habits and Hustle, right? For a reason, right? Because it's basically the habits and hustle of like the most successful people and the best experts and how they got from place A to point A to point B. So we talk a lot on this podcast.
I'm in A now. I'm in place A.
Well, next time you'll be here, you'll be at place B.
Yep.
And then C. But what I talk about, my entire platform is really based around discipline. You rely on discipline. You don't rely on motivation because motivation wanes. So does willpower. It's a muscle. It doesn't last. So discipline is how you get from A to B, and being consistent it's not about talent. It's really about being consistent day to day. It's not the most intense, but it's the most often like that. It's also the most boring stuff, right? Like doing the same things day in, day out gives you that mindset of being accountable to yourself.
Well, that's where habits are formed, is through subconscious, and that's about you actually doing.
Yeah, it's action.
You do it. It's action based. If I pick up that phone every day, if I pick up that phone every day at 9:00, eventually next minute, I'm just doing it without even 9:00 coming.
100%.
And that's what it for. I just use that analogy because there's a phone there, but you know what I mean. Like,
it's routine, right?
But it's body movement. It's body movement. I think it's not just mental. It's not just saying it. It's actually doing.
No, it's not. It's not definitely not just saying it.
You've got to move your body into that habit.
But you have to make habits. Like, that's why, people laugh at me because I'm very regimented. But if you're not to a certain degree regimented, things don't get done.
Yeah.
Right? Like, if you have goals, you have to have some type of plan, and you got to execute on that plan, or things will just maybe it can happen, maybe it won't, right? But with your lifestyle, you have a very like it's an all over the place lifestyle, right? Like, you're on a boat, then you're not on a boat. It's like you may have work, you may not have work.
Very hard. The habits fall off.
It's very
it's very hard to actually have that. Even traveling with the stuff that I like to eat. I found that this year my body went down a little bit in health because I was on the move. I was on the move for 3 months. But usually when I'm in that little mode and I've got my things I do every day, I eat my turmeric, my ginger, my onion, my garlic, all that.
Yes.
Take my Brazil nuts and stuff like that. If I'm doing all that, or I'll take my creatine every day.
I have creatine for you. Have you ever tried this creatine?
No, but you got the Magic Mind.
Oh, the Magic Mind. By the way, we totally forgot about this. We have to do this shot.
Yeah.
Normally we do this at the beginning of the podcast, and I've had like a lot of these today. But
these honestly does work.
I know it does, and it's like the ingredients. I wouldn't be even doing these shots if it didn't work. I've tried tons of these different types. And this one is by far, the ingredients are the best. Try it.
Cheers.
Oh, cheers. Okay.
I always leave a bit in there to get the bottom.
Really? Did you shake it enough?
Probably not.
Yeah, I've got to shake it. And then now you're going to be super focused for someone else's podcast.
Well, I have not had one of these for about a year. And when I did have one, it changed me. And I would love to... sponsored by Magic Mind.
I will definitely set you up with them because this is a great company. Also, creatine. Have you tried this? I love the Momentous creatine. It'd be perfect for you because they do these travels now. I'm going to show you. They're like you can take it with you, and you can just they're in individual packs.
Right.
Do you do creatine?
Yeah, I did some today. Yeah.
Good. So like these are the things like these are like habits that you can get into that are healthy.
Totally. But traveling is a big thing. What do I travel? How can I travel around with the less things?
Well, that's what I'm saying. Like these little travel packs. Do you do any kind of other wellness modalities? Like do you do red light? Do you do the sauna? Do you do all those things?
I ice bath a couple of times a week. Easy.
Okay.
Red light sauna for sure.
Okay. You mean infrared sauna or?
Yeah.
Okay.
So I'd love to do red light therapy. I've been looking into it.
You've never tried it before?
No, I understand the concept of it for sure. From a light frequency point of view, I've read about it or understand it that, the ailments in your body are broken up through your light frequency. The
Right.
red light actually brings it back together. And I'm across all that. Not across it, but I definitely believe all that.
I'm gonna give you some.
It's not a belief. It's a fact.
Well, you're gonna leave here today with like so many like wellness gifts because I love this thing. It's called the Tri-Light Red Light. It's a red light by this company called Therasage, who has
Yep.
like, in my opinion, the best red light. But I travel with it, and you can like it's like a panel, and then you can put it wherever. Like
Perfect.
so, you can put it on your leg, you can put it on your face.
I
you
just
can
had a
put it-
rotator cuff injury for last month.
Okay, so that's
It's
perfect
good
for it.
now. And I actually think I did the NAD IV 500 milligrams.
Oh, yeah, you were
and then I
telling me
did
that.
another one a week after that. And it did improve it a hell of a lot.
You felt a
I felt
difference?
well, actually, when it was going in, I actually felt that was the pain straight away. So they say it goes straight to where you need it.
Wherever you need it. Did you get nauseous with the?
No, I cranked it right up. It was fine.
How long did it take?
I reckon 45 minutes.
Yeah, I mean, like that's actually a lot. Well, if it takes like if you if you do it really really fast, I get so nauseous on
Oh,
those
yeah.
things.
I could feel it. It was just, it felt like I did a couple of shots of tequila.
Right. I mean, I think tequilas would be better than the shot. But are you a drinker then? Because you are from.
I do. Look, to be quite honest, in this industry that I'm in, obviously I loved it.
Yeah.
But now I do big moments of no, and,
No alcohol,
no
yeah.
alcohol, and big moments of, or not big moments, but moments of yes. Look, I love a steak and a glass of red wine. I love going out once in a while, but I must admit I'm a bit more, as I said, introverted these days. I don't go out too much. If I'm in Bali, I'm with my daughter. I don't go out.
Right.
So if I am traveling, look, I don't want to be drinking at events anymore. Like I want to be focused.
Right.
So that's my rule. But if I'm with friends and stuff and there's something on and I feel comfortable and in a good position, I will. But I actually have the anxiety.
Yeah.
When the day after.
Yeah,
like,
I don't
just-
drink, so I would.
It's
Yeah.
just not me.
Or-
It's just not me. I don't like waking up in an environment. If I'm in a safe environment, I'll do it.
Right. So yeah, because I think drinking, in my opinion, is like the number one most terrible thing you can do for
I
your body.
totally agree. I've had last year I went November till May. Nothing. Look, we were talking about this today in the car. Like the focus you get after 3 months is just insane. It's so worth it. But I just love sitting with a nice big steak and a glass of red as well.
I know. Well, I like steak. Steak's good. Like that's protein.
Yeah, totally. That's all I'll eat.
Can you have it with something else, like a carbonated water?
I'll try.
It's not the same, I know.
Well, I know, but I've been looking at Nootropics. There's a company in Australia I was going to talk to. They do a gin and tonic. They do an Aperol spritz, and it's all alcohol-free, sugar-free. And I'd love to work with a company like that. There's another one in New Zealand called Apra. They do
what do they do?
They do a black currant. It's nootropics.
No, nootropics is usually like a brain supplement of some kind. But
Well,
what is, what is this exactly?
These are drinks. These are drinks that actually support cognitive behavior, which are just made out of.
Oh, okay, but it's not. Is there alcohol or no?
No
Oh, no
alcohol.
alcohol. Okay,
Yeah,
that's
so
what I was
but they
gonna say.
taste.
That doesn't sound.
They taste like alcohol. It's a gin and tonic. It's an Aperol spritz, and it's a Moscow Mule, but it's no alcohol, no sugar, and There's good
So it mimics the drink in
mimics
terms
the
of
drinks,
taste.
but it's using nootropics, plant-based. So
Interesting.
yeah, so there's a few of them coming out now.
There's so much of this stuff. I mean, it's so overwhelming. This is now like, this is my life. And every day I'm like noticing, I'm talking. I mean, it's like there's so much of all of this.
Well, this is why I've brought out a fragrance this year. I've got a fragrance I'm bringing out because I usually do essential oils. So I have a fragrance launching in March.
do?
Yeah. Do you want to pass me the fragrance?
Oh,
And
so you are doing a lot of side hustles.
I am starting now. And
Yeah.
then
What made you? So yeah. So
well, I usually do.
Bravo needs to pay you more, apparently.
I usually do a lot of essential oils spray face mist on crew and on the sound
Oh,
sound
okay. Let me see this.
and on the sound and production team. So in Bali, I started doing this. I started learning about fragrances. So it's a gender neutral fragrance, and that's coming out in March. Now, I didn't want to promote alcohol. Everyone does promote spritzers and everything. So this was something that I thought was totally different. It's along what I like. I always have my essential oils, and I thought, well, I'll do a fragrance. And I sat down for about 2 or 3 months. It's taken about 8 months to come. It's for about 2 or 3 months to develop the scent, and it's actually kind of me on a boat, the sand, waterfalls. It's got some earthy tones, and it's definitely got some nature there, and it's long lasting, and it's actually done by some beautiful people that have actually got some great hearts.
Wow. Where are you going to sell it?
It'll be on my website, which is coming out soon, which is Captain's Lounge. Captainslounge.life.
Okay.
Which will be on my Instagram, and that'll be dropping in February. So
Have you not promoted this at all yet?
no.
You don't. Okay. So how are you going to have someone to try to get it into like the department stores or
Eventually, yeah. Well, I'll work on it. Yeah.
who actually, do you have who's making it? Does someone come to you and say, hey,
No, it's just me.
this is all you?
It's just me.
Who paid for all the manufacturing? You?
Me. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Do you have an agent?
No.
You don't have an agent or anything. So it's just basically like you going out there and like making your own deals.
Yep.
Wow. Do you think maybe you should get an agent or
Don't know.
really? I mean,
I'm a boat captain.
I'm going to give you some business 101.
You can do.
You're on a big reality show. This is my little like you're on a major reality show on Bravo. The women obviously really like you according to Bravo. Why would you not get an agent to find you some like endorsement deals and some speaking gigs?
Let's go.
I mean, I think that would be the next evolution of your career.
Maybe that's part of one is discipline. Probably a little bit more confidence and less insecurities. I could probably do that. I don't know. I'm a fish out of water in all this.
You
know?
are. You're just like a captain of a boat, and like this whole thing just happened.
Yeah, I can drive a boat with 30 people and crew and do all that there and make decisions and make on the spot, emergency decisions and stuff and look after your life and take it for the best ride of your life. But,
right. But
when it comes to open up that laptop and looking behind the screens of that social media, I got no idea.
so wait a minute. So no agent has reached out to you. No manager has reached
I
out
had
to you.
I had a manager for a while. Not much came through. I had a good
Yeah.
deal with Invisalign.
That's a good one.
Yeah, I had a good deal with Johnson and Johnson with AccuV.
Yeah.
So they've been good. They're the things that have got me through. But when it comes to doing the stuff for myself,
Yeah.
I've never.
Hold on, I got to sneeze. Okay, wait. Excuse me.
sure,
Oh,
for sure.
thank you.
But when it comes to doing things for myself, I've never.
But those are big ones, like Johnson and Johnson, like Invisalign. Those pay like a lot of money.
Yeah, it was good.
So I'm saying if you had an agent or somebody to like go out there and like pitch you more regularly, or
Yeah.
at an agency, you'd be getting things like that all the time.
Let's go.
I mean, right?
But I have this philosophy, and I actually think I'm sticking to it pretty good. I do not want to be selling things everywhere all the time.
No, you do not.
I want to be true to what is for me and what I stand for. So when I do try to voice something like that, now there'll be a portion of every sale of anything I ever do that'll go back to a project.
Of course it would, because you're a nice guy.
Well, which that's where I'll get the love out of it.
That's amazing. I have an idea for you. You know what you'd do great at, I think, because of who would watch it. Like if you were to do like some kind of like partnership with like a QVC or an HSN, because the people who watch QVC and HSN, there's like the shopping networks, are the same people who are watching reality TV. They love reality, they love the Real Housewives. I'm sure they love your show Below Deck. if you were to do like some kind of partnership with them, they would be able to make this so you wouldn't have to pay for the manufacturing or any of that. And then they could put you on the show and you would basically sell on their, block of time. And the women would love to see you because they love you probably already.
Shirt on or shirt off?
Shirt, I think shirt off would probably do better.
Joke.
But if maybe you could do like a tight tank top. You could like meet in the middle or
Meet in the
something.
middle,
You
yeah.
know what I mean?
I gotcha.
But to me, that would be like a great money gig for you. And that way, like right now, you're paying for the manufacturing of this, right? You're paying for all of this, like all that heavy lifting is coming from your pocket.
Yep.
Yeah. And so like you would like this is what I like I think it's a no-brainer. There are people who I meet in LA who literally don't have even half of what you have. They don't even have they have like one season of some, bodunk horrible reality show from some shitty network, and they're out there with their agents and their managers and their publicists trying to like hawk something. You're actually like a really decent guy who's got a very nice way about you on a massive hit show.
Thank you.
3 seasons in. And like you're making your own perfume. Are you kidding me right now?
I'm just hiding away in Bali somewhere. I need to get out there. I need to be represented a bit better and probably learn a bit more, I suppose. So, but meeting you has probably given me a little bit of, I'll take this on. It's a little bit of discipline and maybe a little bit more advice would be great.
I'm going to give you more. I mean, listen, I'm like shocked at what I'm hearing. I mean, you know this, right? From your Bravo friend, Haley.
Yeah, but they're not going to give us any.
No, they're not going to help you
No.
with that. But like, if you were really touted like the sexiest man on Bravo or sexiest reality star, that headline itself, you can leverage that to like so many different endorsement deals. You can probably get a book deal. I can make you millions of dollars by next
Let's
year.
go. Let's sign me out.
How
Sign
are
me
you
out.
not doing this?
Sign me out. What time is it?
Okay, I'll give you business advice later. Okay, so guys, he's the nicest guy, Captain Jason.
Thank you.
Watch season 3 of Below Deck, and you'll come back when you're at point B, right?
Yeah,
From A to
please
B,
do.
or I'll
I'd
help
love
you
to.
get from A to B.
That would be great.
I'll help you in the middle. So where do people find you? So promote where you can be found.
My Instagram, Captain J Chambers, and on there my website is captainslounge.life, which is all on there. And also on there in links you'll see the foundation as well. And you'll see a lot of my grid on my Instagram is a link towards the foundations that we've been doing and the schools that we've been rebuilding as well. So
I love
from
that.
there you'll find us, and we'll get a bit more active on the other social platforms as well. But for now, Instagram's the go-to, and Captain J Chambers, and as I said, captainslounge.life.
Thank you so much, Jason. It was so
appreciate
nice to have you.
I'm glad we met.
Me too. Thank you. Okay, guys, go watch his show and go follow him on Instagram. Bye-bye.